When the Royal Challengers Bangalore took on Sunrisers Hyderabad in Bengaluru, well, there was a little bit of a surprise in the team sheet when it was found out that Glenn Maxwell had been entirely excluded from the playing 11, although many will agree, let's say, that it was something that was merited given he has been in pretty poor form so far during this IPL season. However, many felt it was still surprising to drop the Aussie given A, the kind of form he'd been in recent times, and B, the fact that he's paid the big bucks and is someone who on his day, whilst can be inconsistent, is definitely a match winner. Well, afterwards, Maxwell ended up going for the post-match press conference and revealed, rather interestingly, that the fact that he wasn't playing was down entirely to him and that he's now taken just a little bit of a break from the game, and he's called it a mental and physical break. What exactly all of this means? Well, we'll let's say delve in a little deeper by analyzing some of the quotes, some of what it is that he said. And it started off with him admitting that, contrary to popular belief, it wasn't that hard a decision to take himself out of the firing line. He said that for me personally, it was a pretty easy decision. I went to Faf du Plessis and the coaches after the last game and said I felt it was probably time we tried someone else. Now that's a pretty big statement because, again, more often than not, players will be keen to preserve their spot even if their form isn't going well, and it's doubly so in the case of a foreign player because you're only allowed 4 foreign players in the playing 11. You'd want to be ensuring that you play the maximum number of games. Yet Maxwell, recognizing that his slump in form is becoming a bit terminal, chose to remove himself from the firing line. In fact, as he himself admits it, it's something that he needed both mentally and physically. He said, I think now is actually a good time for me to give myself a bit of a mental and physical break, get my body right. I felt like I wasn't contributing in a positive way with the bat, and I think it's safe to say he's right on both counts. Maxwell has been someone who's been playing a relentless amount of cricket for Australia and the Big Bash League, and obviously playing that much cricket will take its toll after a point, and so if he felt the need to refresh himself mentally and physically, I'd say it's a very brave decision on his part to choose to step away like this, so well done to him in that regard. And as he also said, I felt I wasn't contributing, and he's absolutely correct. Maxwell had become the butt of jokes on social media for him consistently getting out in more or less the same way, and even though he would sometimes get a bit of a start, he just wasn't converting those starts into big match winning knocks. And when I say big, it doesn't have to be an 80 or 90 or 100 every time. It can be a quick fire 30, 40, 50 score, but Maxwell wasn't even getting those. But again, he's talked about taking a mental and physical break. How long is this break going to last? Is he going to pull out of the IPL season? Is it just for a few games? It seems like he's leaning towards it being more of the latter, as in he stepped aside from now, but he's also left the door open to come back into the playing 11. He said that if I'm required to get in during the tournament, I can hopefully get back into a really solid mental and physical space where I can still have an impact. So he's not shut the door on, let's say, not playing at all throughout the season. He says that, yeah, if I feel like I'm necessary, then hopefully I can get myself into a really good mental and physical state. But what it does tell you is that he's not been feeling the best lately, thanks in no small part, of course, to the fact that he's been playing a lot of cricket, so physically it's taken a toll, and the fact that his form isn't great, so mentally it's taken a toll as well. And I think it's an interesting decision because you don't often see players look to just pull themselves out of the firing line like that. The old school mentality always has been that if you're not getting form, then you need to keep playing because eventually things will fall back into place. But we've seen sometimes how stepping away can work very well. Remember, Virat Kohli had been struggling with his form for nearly 3 years before he took that bit of a break before the Asia Cup in 2022, and he finally started to find some form once he stepped away from the game. Sometimes it helps stepping away and getting a break from the game because, again, it can be wearisome, especially in the cricket calendar nowadays where there really is no such thing as an off season. So players have to pick and choose and prioritize when exactly it's best for them to be on the field. And Maxwell's made a pretty brave call doing it in the middle of a campaign where RCB could really be using an in-form Glenn Maxwell, but he feels he's not going to be able to deliver that, and so he's stepping away. As I said, a pretty brave call, and you could potentially still see him in action if he feels better. But what are your thoughts on the entire matter? You can let us know that in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Don't forget to download the Sports the Cap, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos we've done as well. For now, from my side though, it is goodbye.